Hello, hello, and welcome back. I hope you hydrated beautifully because we have another amazing guest coming right now. Her name is Dominique Levesque, and she is a gifted energy conductor and spiritual translator, adaptly channels transformative energy. As a soul map guide, she empowers individuals to unlock and utilize their innate talents for both personal and business development. Her holistic method synergizes with her insightful talks on integrating higher self into business success. And I'm so glad that she is here with us today. Welcome, Dominique.
Hi, thank you so much for bringing me here.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your time. And so, when I introduced you, I said you are an energy conductor and a spiritual translator and a soul map guide. Can you explain to us what that exactly means?
Yes, for sure. So, what it means is that I utilize energy to get into your energetic being to identify your source given gifts. And what we do with those gifts is we serve or we live, right? But a lot of us don't know how to translate in the 3D world what those mean. So, being a translator is I bring all the information from the ethers, I mix it with your gifts, and then I try to help you in understanding how to use those here in the 3D.
And for a lot of people, I can already see the woo woo signal going on when we listen to that. Let me just tell you that Dominique has a really, really down to earth job as well. She is a business strategist. And those two things combined are right down my wheelhouse because I love science and woo woo and logic and spirituality. So, can you let us know how those two go together?
Yes, of course. Um, so when you have a business, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. It's very easy to, I mean, there's a lot of burnouts. We're not going to lie about the fact that life sometimes cannot be that easy. And I believe that it's because we are not aligned with who we truly are. We're either consciously or unconsciously trying to cope with whatever the society's norms are. But when you align with who you really are, with your source, with your soul, then it's a lot easier to be in business. So what I do is I go into businesses, all kinds of businesses, not only healers, even real estate agents can use my services to help them. And we identify those gifts. We open the channels. And then when you do your business in a soul led or heart centered way, right? Everything just becomes more easy because you make decisions that are aligned with you. So you're still going to look at data. We're still going to do strategy by understanding what is going on. We're still going to have the same methods. We're going to do marketing. We're going to make sure that you're growing your business in that is good for you and for the world, but really good for you because you're going to be aligned with what is really yours and not aligned with what the society says it should look like.
That sounds perfect. And it sounds really, really like the actual, what we actually want out of life, why we became entrepreneurs or why we became, self-employed, to not bend to anybody's expectations. So let's bring that, let's funnel it down a little bit more into what does that actually look like when you work with somebody.
Yes. So let's say you have, I don't know, a hotel or a bar or a restaurant, and you feel like there's no one that's coming into your establishment. Of course, there's going to be the location, right? But let's say that you've you are in a good location, your food is good, and there's still no one coming in. So I'll go into your restaurant or your bar or whatever it is, and we'll look at how you placed your tables. Where are your speakers? How are you welcoming the people? What are the colors on the wall? Because all these things can be energy blocks. You could have the best business in the world. If you put a big wardrobe in the door, no one's going to come. So that's how energy feels to a lot of people. It's very unconscious, right? So a lot of the time, it's a very, very small investment to rehabilitate the space so that there's a flow of energy that works for yourself, for your team, and for the people that are walking in front. And when they walk, they're like, oh, I want to go in here, right? When you're a coach, a healer, or a teacher, a lot of the time, the energy is not going to be flowing within us. And that's why the people will not come to us. So I use a lot of different methodologies. So I work a lot with the Enneagram because you need to know you're human. I work with human design because it does bring what your soul wants out there. And I also bring my own, after years and years and years of practicing, my own translation. So we'll do a soul map, we'll unblock all that energy, and we will learn how to remain soul led. Because when you remain soul led and heart centered, you have a way of speaking that is magnetic. And this is what we're going to work on. I'm sorry, we're still going to work on all the numbers and all the what did I do on social media or marketing and stuff like that. But most of it usually comes from within.
And isn't that where it's always, where always the block is actually?
On all levels.
Oh no. Yeah. So how when I'm a CEO of a big company, for example, I
Yes.
and I just had an awakening and and I want to have a more soul-led business. I want to be more engaging with my employees, and I want to turn my business into a more serving the world kind of business.
Mhm.
How would that look like? What would that look like?
So I can tell you about a client that I had. He had a real estate agency. So there was about, when I started with him, it was very small. It was only 6 agents, but they seemed like they were not able to connect. So we did, we did like teamwork, where I just sat there. I went with them on calls and I listened to how they were talking. I listened in their coffee talks and I heard, a lot of talking about the others. And so we brought in a coach that started to talk to them about inner well-being, because when you are inner well, you are also outer well. I know those are not words. And that way, it was a lot easier for me to teach the owner how to be able to reach his teams, so that it's not only goal, 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 but it's also, I hear you, I understand you, and I see you. So let's work together on a human level so that we all are amazingly good on the financial level. But it was a genuine human level. When I finished working with him, his team was 230 agents online, and that's in Central America. So in the entire country, they became the fastest growing and the ones that sold the most land in the whole country within 1 year of understanding how to communicate. And how did that happen? Is they both started communicating from here. Instead of talking from here when they were doing their videos, they were really dropping to their heart. And what does that do? It magnetizes people back to you.
Hmm. You said magnetize now twice. You said magnetic words and magnetize. So, what are magnetic words and how do I get, more magnetic?
Well, so magnetic words are words that will attract. There's billions of people in the world, right? And there has to be people that want to work with you. There has to be. There is no way no one needs you. But how do they find you? because there's a wave, there's a sea of people on the internet. And a lot of people will say, well, I'm doing the videos, I'm doing the posting, I'm doing the newsletters, I'm reaching out, and no one comes back. It's always cricket sounds. And those cricket sounds can be they can bring you into self-doubt and the imposter syndrome, right? So what we do is we will talk. It's really about talking. So we're going to talk about what you do, who you are. And then I bring the people into little groups, and I'll have other people close their eyes and listen. And they're going to tell you which words that they hear that have like an energy feeling to them. And then we're going to integrate those words into your speech. And you can do that at home. Like you don't have to go into a business group. You can ask your family to listen, or your friends, have them close their eyes and put a little pressure here to make sure that they're not in their head. Because if they're in their head, they're not going to give you the magnetic words. They're going to give you the society words. So have them put their hand here, make a little pressure, close their eyes, and then go into a story of who you are, what you do, what is your business, and have them give you back only the words that they felt good to listen to, or that there was like some kind of fluctuation in their body temperature, or they felt a shiver. And then you take those words and you start making your $1,000,000 message with those words. And then eventually your marketing message is going to integrate the words that your clients are telling you. You could say, so for me, right? I am a master healer. When I used to say I am a master healer, I'd have no one listen to me. And then I started listening to people. What do? I would ask them, what do you feel we just did? And well, you're kind of like driving the energy. And that's how, and that, okay, so I'm an energy conductor. When I say I'm an energy conductor, people turn around. They're like, huh, what is that? That's a magnetic word. I'm a spiritual translator. We all want to understand what's going on up there, you know? But not everybody can channel. Everybody can channel, but not everybody is open. Well, lucky enough, I am. So channel is not a magnetic word for me. If I tell you I'm an energy healer and I channel, you're going to go, yeah, like another one. But when I say I'm an energy conductor and a spiritual translator, you're here. You're listening to me. Those are magnetic words, and everybody can find those. You can come with us to do it on the groups, or you can do it in your house.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I don't know about you all listening right now or watching us, but I could really feel the difference in my bones when you said spiritual translator versus channel.
And that's the magnet.
Okay, so we are off. We're often sold on the idea that business success comes from the outside. But now in, our past 15 minutes, what you're saying or what you're telling us basically, like business is okay, but first we have to create inner success before we can create business success.
Yeah, I think that there's a big work to be done. You know how, like, when people start their business, if they ask me what's the first thing I should do, I tell them really, really be clear on your message, be clear on your personal branding. But the most important thing is, one of the most important thing, which comes in those three things, is understanding what success means to you. For me, success will be very different than for you and for my neighbor, right? Some people can say success is having $1,000,000. Well, for me, success is very much that I have my why, everybody has a why. But for me, success is it comes from inside. If I can be in my business, I can be soul-led, and I still have the time and the means to do all the other things that I want to do, I've gained success. Because I could probably go back and I've never worked as an employee, but as a contractor in hotels. and make sure that the quality of what they're doing is right. So I would have a stable job. I would I would earn a lot of money because that's a very good paid job to my perspective, but I wouldn't feel successful because you work 7 days a week. You work 18 hours a day. So where do I fit my kids in there? Where do I fit my meditation, which is super important? Where do I fit my reading? Where do I fit my walking in the nature? That for me is success. Now, there's also an external success, right? Because if you are successful inside, you're going to be successful outside. So it shows into our bank accounts, it shows into our social life, it shows into the way we live, the way we interact with the world. But it has to come from inside first, and then it's going to transpire in outside. And for that, remember that the universe loves to prove you right. So if you don't know what your success is and you're not clear with your message, the universe will always show you that you are right. You do not know. So where are you going to put your effort? You're going to put your effort into really being clear with what is your idea of success, what is your message, and this is what you're going to convey to the world in business. And that is going to translate into having a soul-led business, heart-centered message, and the universe will prove you right.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And while you were talking, of course, probably everybody is doing that. They think about their message, you know? Like I was thinking about my message. What am I conveying into the world? And so I often feel that there is this big gap between, you know, knowing who I am, my gifts or my message and stuff, but then also translating that into my business, like harmonizing my business with my spirituality. Like,
Mhm.
can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, when you identify your values, so you'll identify your business values, right? So let's say in your business value you have authenticity, right? So every single and you have usually three values at least, but let's say what authenticity is one of them. So you're going to understand what it means because a lot of people will put values, don't understand why they put the values. So those values have to be real to you, right? They're soul led. So for you, authenticity is whatever I do or whatever I bring to the world will be authentic. For instance, this symposium here. You are, Bea, all about Superwoman, about bringing those superpowers into the world. You're all about no one is left behind. We're taking the whole world with us, and we're all Superwoman in this super world. It's very authentic to you. So that is your business value. Everything that you do will have this guideline to it. In your world, in your Bea world, in your Bea-verse, everything also is authentic. It is one of your value. And when you bring them both together, there is no way you can't succeed.
Okay. Well, that sounds good then. So how do I, you know, I know my values, I know my gifts, I know, you know, like if we were working together and you would have helped me and we have done all the work, like
Mhm.
how do I transform them? How do I transform, like, because I think most people want to have like something tangible that they can, you know, grasp, that they can say, okay, I'm going to apply this to this part of my business, or I'm going to take this and do this. Do you have a solution for that?
Well, so like I said, your values, usually people will just put them on a paper and then that's it, they leave them there. So values are to be put somewhere where you can see them. Because when you're going to make a decision, so let's say you have a bar, right? And in your bar, your business has a value of service. You want your clients to come in and that they're going to feel home. They're going to feel like they're a guest in your dining room. When there's going to be a mixologist doing a show behind the bar, you want them to all gather around the bar. Like, I don't know how it is where you're from, but in Canada, there's like people have an island in the middle of the kitchen. And even if they have a beautiful living room, when you go in the home, everybody will go around the island and speak there. Okay. So let's say that's what you want in your bar. You want to be of service, and in your value, it's very clear that being of service is that. That's your business value. One of your personal value is to be open, to be accessible, right? Which links to the service value. But when you walk into your bar, your chairs are wooden chairs that, like, after 3 minutes, you're going like this. You're like, oh, I don't really want to be here.
Hmm.
Transform your bar into a speakeasy so that it's service, so that the people want to come and they feel like they're in a dining room, right? So I looked at my value, I looked at my space, and they don't reflect. I want to make sure that what I'm doing reflects my values. Another thing, so you're still of service, but the mixologist is doing all his things and no one goes to the bar. Well, the guy is 6 feet tall. He's a huge guy and he never, ever, ever smiles. So it could be his personality. It doesn't mean you're going to change him. The guy is good. Just put a person beside that will invite people to come, if this is in your values, of course. So we are taking our values that are on paper, because when you build your business, you usually start building it on paper.
Mhm.
We're taking those values and we are grounding them into the 3D, right? Let's say you're a teacher and your gift is in your throat, but you keep on screaming because the kids drive you crazy. Look at your values. Was your value to scream, or was your value to teach? And if you're screaming all the time, teaching is hard, you know? If you're screaming all the time, you have to start looking at what is going on. You can't fix the kids in front of you. You can't fix the system. You can't fix what's going on, but you can try to help yourself by going back to your value, understanding your gift is your voice. Maybe is by singing in the morning. You're going to use the vibration of your voice to calm the kids in front of you. It might not work for a long time, but it's going to work for a little bit. And little by little, you get to more. This is how you ground all that information and you bring it into your business, into the 3D.
That is absolutely beautiful. And speaking of gifts, you brought us also a free gift. What is that?
So it's a mantra, it's a business mantra. So when you go into the business page, so the business mantra page, it's going to ask you 4 questions. And those questions, we receive them and we read them, and then we get a mantra, a business mantra that you're going to receive. It's a card with the mantra that's written, and it's also an audio. So you're going to get the voice, and there's, of course, sacred geometry, because I'm a healer, and there's a frequency. So there's a music to it. So when you listen to the mantra and you listen to the music, your soul is going to align with that. And I don't invent the information on the mantra. You gave me the information from your business, and I just put it into words as a mantra.
That is
And we,
so cool.
yeah,
That
it's
is
fun. I
so
love
cool.
it.
I want that. So all the information will be here, there in the chat where you can grab that, because the freebie is for everybody who's attending this talk right now. But we also have a VIP gift from Dominique. What is that?
Oh, the talk. Yes, I love that talk. So basically, we're going to talk about being soulful. We're going to take 3D ideas and we're going to translate them into a soul led business, because all of us hear messages, all of us feel, all of us have an intuition. I'm not one person in the world that has that. We all have it. Some people use it more than others. So in the talk, we're going to take real life situations and we're going to see where is my intuition, where is the soul-led message, and I'm going to give you tricks to bring that back to a soul-led business.
So that is a live workshop?
I have it live, yes.
Nice. Or even if it's just a recording, but seeing all the examples of it. But so this is so cool. So I can attend a live workshop, and if I cannot attend live, I get the replay basically for it.
Indeed.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifts that you brought. And thank you so much for all the insight. I think that was very, very, very helpful for a lot of people watching us right now.
Thank you for inviting me.